Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Kobayashi Maru Sessions. I'm your host Travis, better known as Nick Holden on the Tempest crew, and today we are welcoming our fearless leader Ryan, better known as Captain Maddox of the crew of the Starship Tempest. This is going to be a wild one, so let's get right to it. Alrighty, so here we are. We are here for another Kobayashi Maru session. This one here with the wonderful Ryan Sheely.
Greetings, everyone. Hello.
Unlike last time, you are not creating a character ahead of time. We are going to be creating the character as we go. You are starting out as just an utterly blank slate. Apart from the basic training Starfleet has endowed you with, you have no additional character to yourself. You'll notice right now all of your aspects are -2. As you get more experienced, you're going to learn and grow and just get better at your stats. So
cool.
They're just,
I like it.
Normally in Fate, it takes like sessions before 1 or 2 stats goes up. We're going to be like fast and loose, giving you extra stats as we go, because you just are going to learn.
Cool.
Learn at
All
light
right.
speed here.
I like it.
So, feel like you got a handle? Ready to dive in?
What's the worst that could happen? It's just it's just a simulation.
Day 1, you awaken. The lights turn on, you feel the subtle background vibration of the engines pumping energy throughout the ship. You are aboard the USS Kobayashi Maru. Your mission is to map the Duke Nebula. It is a utterly massive nebula, as space nebula tend to be. It is full of white dwarf stars and brown dwarf stars, and there's even some supernovas happening in there. Picture like the best Hubble photo you've ever seen and the best James Webb telescope photo you've seen, put them together, and then just imagine it's even more beautiful than that. It is sitting on the very edge of Federation space. There's only a tiny bit of this nebula within Federation space, so basically none of it has been charted at this point. It is your job to chart and map this entire nebula. So the first thing I will ask is, how do you want to approach scanning this nebula on the very edge of Federation space?
Now you said I just woke up, and now you're asking me to scan. So did I fall asleep at the console, and I just suddenly awoke?
No,
or
you
was
did not.
So I was in my quarters when I woke up, and now I'm starting my day, basically.
So the basic rundown is, we're going to talk about how you're going to scan the nebula, because you're always going to be scanning. That's your job.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about what you're doing when you're not scanning the nebula. We'll sort of do some back and forth, and then we'll run through all of the roles. So like, if you want to do A, you're going to roll this. If you're going to do B, you're going to roll this. And I'm just going to like run through those rolls all in one go. I'll keep track of them. And at that point, we're going to time jump, because again, you're scanning a gigantic nebula. It's going to take time. You're learning on the job. So we'll just start moving ahead in time. And then each time we'll sort of rehash of like, okay, you did this. This is how it all went. How do you want to scan the nebula next jump? What do you want to do in between scanning the nebula on the next jump? And then we'll jump again and just run through all the rolls. So.
Okay, so first thing, we'll knock on the door by doing a high resolution scan of the nebula directly in front of our nose.
Okay, so doing just a general by the book scan.
Correct.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call that careful. Does that sound accurate to you?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna call you careful by the book scanning. All right.
Okay.
So you're not gonna be scanning the nebula 24 hours a day, So when you're not being used to scan the nebula, what do you do? What are you going to be spending your off-duty hours doing exactly?
Diagnostics on my on the deflector dish and scanning technology and the scanning apparatus of the ship. I want to make sure that I am that this ship is going to give me every data point that I need.
I feel like that's also careful, because you are being thorough. Let's call that a careful roll as well.
It's careful and thorough.
And thorough. Anything else? What else do you want to do? And to be clear, you just keep naming stuff. I will tell you if you ever can't do something, or if you can't do any additional things.
Sure. Well, I mean, I can't. All work and no play makes Jack a dull space boy. So I will go to the gym and work out in some of my downtime. I'll do a few reps.
So what is your goal in going to the gym?
Just to keep myself fit and emotionally even-keeled, so I don't get too anxious about work. So I'm going to blow off some steam and get a little bit of endorphins going.
since you're doing it specifically as like, I feel like it's almost like a preparation thing, right? Like it's trying to zen out, right? Like you're going there
Sure.
to just,
Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like that's also careful. I think it's,
I'm not,
I think it
yeah.
is. You were
uh,
careful.
I
So
I'm Starfleet by the book.
yeah. All
Okay.
right. So anything else?
No,
No.
nothing comes to mind.
Okay. So we're gonna dive in. We're gonna go ahead and roll for these. In this particular case, you have 3 items that you're doing: scanning, diagnostics, and the gym. And you are going to roll carefully each time. So go ahead and give me 3 careful rolls to simulate
Okay.
the time passing of you doing these things.
Here's the first scan.
That's
-2.
-2 for your scanning.
Here comes the diagnostic on the equipment that I'm using. -3.
-3.
And here comes me hitting the pumping some space iron. 0.
That's your best one. All righty. Okay. So it's been about a week. We're on day 8, and we will say scanning is slow going. After about a week of scanning, you have mapped and scanned approximately 1 times 10 to the negative 83rd% of this nebula.
Wow.
So the way I have come up with
that is 1 with 83 zeros behind it. Oh, but
No,
83
no.
zeros in front of it, in front of the point.
To be fair, it's 82. It's 0 point.
You're right.
And then 82 zeros. So
You're-
the visualization that I have come up with is you are trying to essentially catalog every piece of sand in the world, and at this point you have cataloged 1 grain of sand thus far.
Yeah, so I should make some adjustments to my approach here.
Well, it's a big nebula. So that's what you've done with the scan. The additional stuff, you did your diagnostics. Currently everything seems to be running up to ship shape, unless you want to like start modifying stuff. We're just gonna keep an eye out to make sure that it's running ship shape. The gym, sure enough, you're in the gym. Weights are moving. Congrats, I guess. So yeah, so that's the off season, and so now we are back to it is day 8. How do you want to approach the scan going forward? Oh,
Okay.
actually, before we do that, to represent sort of that time passing, your experience growing, your learning as you're doing things, I'm going to give you a bump in score. You did 3 careful things, so you know what? I'm just going to give you 3 points in careful.
Oh, nice. I'm up to 1.
Yeah, you're up to 1 in careful. So how do you want to approach scanning the nebula for the next sort of jump forward in time?
Okay. I would like to. First of all, do we have the answer of how many light years worth of nebula are on the Federation side, are in Federation space?
Almost none.
So the whole thing is basically outside of Federation space?
Yep, you are exploring. No one has ever charted this before. You are trying to scan and figure out what's going on in this nebula.
Okay, I would like to drop 3 sensor probes, to fire 3 sensor probes into the nebula. Class 1 or class 3, whichever one means the best probe, because I always forget.
Gotcha.
So we'll drop 3 of them, and I want to. What I want to do is I want to drop one here, travel at high warp to another location, drop another one, travel at high warp, drop another one, so that we have 3 drones for which to triangulate the scans.
That I think we're gonna have to say clever, because you're trying to do some triangulating nonsense. So we'll call that a clever scan of the nebula.
Okay.
All right. You're continuing again. I am also going to assume that you continue doing the things you said you're doing, unless you say otherwise. So, and again, I will tell you if you can't do an additional thing. So you're continuing your diagnostics on the scanning system, continuing to move around the weights in the gym like a boss.
we can stop doing the gym thing. I don't think that's going to get me anywhere for scanning the nebula. So instead of doing the gym, what I would like to do is I want to ready a shuttlecraft.
Okay.
Because I want to potentially have the opportunity to get a 4th data point, but I want to be in the cockpit I want to be in the cockpit to be basically that 4th sensor drone if I need to. So basically, I'm preparing for a worst case scenario or not even a worst case scenario. I'm preparing for my next step, which would be to include a live data stream inside the nebula. Whereas the Kobayashi Maru right now is outside the nebula. We shot 3 drones into the nebula. I want to be inside the nebula too, but I don't want to take the Kobayashi Maru there just yet.
Okay. So preparing the shuttle. I know it's preparation, and I said careful is preparation, but I feel like this is flashy.
Oh, you think so? Because I was thinking I was going to do it with sort of like subterfuge, like I was not going to tell anybody.
Oh,
so I was going to be sneaky.
No, let's do the thing.
Yeah,
if that's the way you want to approach it. So
yeah, so
we'll
like I built
sneaky.
up this routine about going to the gym every day, so everybody expects me to be absent from my, on my off duty time for X amount of hours. So I'm using that to take the opportunity now to fit the shuttle.
All right, so yeah, you're retrofitting the shuttle with some extra sensor tech for whatever reason, and preparing it without
reason.
without informing anyone of what you were doing.
Correct.
Okay.
Side
Anything
hustle.
else you want to do in your off time?
I want to research do we have any, what space is this border into? So, or is it just unknown space?
Unknown space.
So it's not the neutral zone. It's not anything beyond that. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it's not like on the Romulan border or anything. It's just unknown space.
Are there any other ships in the area? So I want to research duty patrol station, patrol routes to see if there's any other friendly Federation ships this far out.
Patrol data. All right. Patrol data/routes. All right.
Yeah.
Just to make sure. Alrighty. And that one I think is careful.
Okay.
I'm gonna go clever. I'm gonna say clever on that one.
Okay. Accept.
Yeah. Anything else? Or
No.
you want to jump in? Okay. Cool.
Let's jump in.
Alrighty. So, just a quick rundown. We'll run through your scans. Give me a clever roll for your main scan.
Oh, right, me. Right, I do it.
It's you.
1, 2, 3. -5.
-5. That's impressive. Give me.
It's impressively bad.
It is. It's still impressive.
At least it's not 10 to the -5.
Give me a negative. Give me a careful roll. It can also be positive. It doesn't have to be negative.
I'll give you a negative roll right here. Oh, 2. Nice.
All right. Give me a sneaky roll.
Sneaky. -4.
4. All right. And give me another clever roll.
Clever. That's better. -1.
-1. All right. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and jump. Those rolls represent the things that you were doing in time. We jump forward. It's now day 16. It was day 8. Now it's day 16. You've been doing quite a bit of scanning. I will tell you that you have now moved to the amount that you have scanned and mapped in the nebula is 1.01 times 10 to the -83rd.
1.01 times 10 to the -83rd.
Yes.
What fun.
So it is, you went from the first week, it was day 1 to day 8, you did a single grain of sand. From day 8 to day 16, you have done several grains of sand.
Good.
In that time, you continue to run the diagnostics as you were expecting. Everything continues to run normal. Everything looks good. You tried to prep the shuttle to go. However, the shuttle, you just haven't gotten it prepped. You've been busy scanning, and so you just have not done that yet. You did a fair amount of research on Federation patrols. There are no patrols in this area. You are the only ship in range, as they say. So the clever roll was the -5. You fired off one of your probes, but you have not fired off the other 2 yet.
That's because of the roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would like to do it all again.
Okay. Do you want to? So you're going to rescan. You're going to continue with your process of trying to send out probes and scan that way. You want to continue diagnostics on the system, make sure everything's good. You want to keep getting the shuttle prepped, because once it's prepped, you can actually use it. And you want to keep research. Do you want to keep researching on patrol ships? At this point, that's sort of complete. So
yeah, we'll call that completed.
All right. Anything else you want to do in your off time?
Not at the moment.
Okay. We're gonna bump up your stats. So you had,
or reduce my stats for sneaky. Is that what it was? No, it was for clever.
Nope. No, you had 2 clever rolls. So I'm gonna give you 2 in clever. You had a sneaky roll, and I'll give you a sneaky, and you had a careful roll. So we'll bump you up for careful again.
Okay.
All right. So in this case, we are all set. Go ahead and give me another clever roll.
Clever. 0.
Clever 0. Give me a careful roll.
Careful. 2.
Give me another sneaky roll.
Sneaky. 2.
Wow, 2 on a -1. Nice. And give me that's it. That was the only 3 things that you had to go.
Correct.
So yeah, so we actually flipped the calendar on this one. We are now on day 32.
Day 32. Oh my.
Yeah, the day is flipped forward. We have completed the first month, and you have charted 1.05 times 10 to the -83rd.
Getting better.
So as I mentioned last time, you had been up to charting essentially a few grains of sand. At this point now, it's like a solid pinch of sand.
Okay.
So congratulations. I'm sure you feel you feel very accomplished with your thing.
I sure do.
Everything goes about as expected. Let's see. Diagnostics obviously come back. Nothing is wrong at this point. Everything looks good. You are able to successfully prep the shuttle. The shuttle has now downloaded your additional scanning algorithms, and it they're all parked in the shuttle bay, so it's not like you had to move it to prep to fly, right? Like that doesn't happen. So yeah, so that's all prepped at this point. The ship is warped, but you still have not actually launched the second probe yet. You were just about to. You were activating it as the time ended up, and yeah, so that's where we stand. We are diving right back into it.
Okay. All right. So I will do. I would like to launch the probes for sure. So basically, do the same things that we were doing before.
Keep going with your clever. Gotcha.
We'll keep going with the clever, and the careful, because I still want to do the high resolution scan with the Kobayashi Maru. I don't know if I mentioned that last time.
We weren't doing that we were doing it separately because you had said you wanted to stop scanning and use the careful thing. We can do that now. That's fine.
Okay. Run that by me again.
When you had said I had asked you how you wanted to approach it. You said I want to do the probes. I took that as you wanted to do the probes instead. So we have not been doing the careful roll. In addition to that, we can if you want to do that.
Yeah. So from now on, so let's
both careful. Got it.
Careful and the probes, and I also, well, we'll do this. I got an idea, but let's do that. The shuttle is prepped, so I want to take the shuttle into the nebula, also.
Okay. So you want to launch the shuttle, right? Still doing your diagnostics.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say that I am.
All right. You're just keeping an eye on all your systems. Okay. Anything else? Again, this is very nebula focused, and that is totally fine. You are welcome to stay laser focused on the nebula, which is your job. You also have downtime. You're not, they're off duty hours. So is there anything else you want to do outside of scanning the nebula?
Well, you're asking me, so there must be a benefit to doing something outside of scanning.
This is not necessarily a major prompting. It's just there's not 4 shifts of rotations always having you scan the nebula. So you are welcome to do other things with the non-scanning time.
Okay, well, I've already visited the gym, so this time, why don't I visit our version of the officer's lounge, like the 10 forward of the Kobayashi Maru.
Cool.
Get a drink at the bar.
Sounds good. So you go ahead and make your way to what I have named Stowaways is the name of the 10 forward on this.
Stowaways, nice.
It is the bartender is manned by a bartender by the name of Colt. He comes from a long line of bartenders.
His family line of bartendering. He hopes they'll continue the tradition for generations. Oh, that's great, Travis.
So Colt is the bartender. What would you want to drink exactly?
Aldebaran whiskey. It is green.
All right. So you send in an order for you put in an order for some, what was it again?
Aldebaran whiskey.
Aldebaran whiskey. And several minutes pass. They seem a little confused. We'll see how you roll on that. So we're gonna say bar.
They seem confused. Interesting. Okay.
Going and ordering a drink, that feels flashy?
I would say flashy because you go. So the way I would say it is, I'm going flashy because I am up to 1.05 times 10 to the -83rd. So I'm doing all right. So I want to go strut my stuff. I'm peacocking a little bit in Stowaways.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go with flashy there.
Oh,
you're very proud of yourself. All right. Anything else you want to do?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I want to start a bar fight. Later. That'll be in the second month.
All right. So, so we'll run through. Let's get a clever roll to continue launching the probes.
0.
0. Let's get a careful roll for you doing the normal scan.
2.
2. Let's get another careful roll for you continuing to like keep your self-diagnostic going. 5.
5.
5. 5. Nice. Let's get another sneaky roll for your prepping the shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Or launching it, I should say. 0.
Sure.
And let's get a flashy roll for your bar order.
-2. Not bad.
2. All right. Not bad. Not great. Not bad.
No, it's fine.
Alrighty. So those represent the time jump. Really moving now. We are now on day 64. Flash forward to now 2 months in, a little over 2 months in. You have now scanned 1.2 times 10 to the negative 83rd.
To the negative 83rd. It's
not bad, but it's you're making progress. The second probe did launch, so you now have 2 probes out there. At some point, we can also discuss whether you want to utilize those probes or wait until you have all 3 out to do it. You did your normal scan. That's part of what the progress was happening. Diagnostics continue to look good. All the systems check out. The shuttle got a 0. I'm gonna say like the boo 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 sound started, and that set off some alarms.
So I did an emergency shutdown procedures and got out before security arrived.
No, the boo boo's booing off, and then it kind of shut down for a second. So you're welcome to try again, but they were like, "Why is there a shuttle launching since you didn't inform anyone of what was happening?" And it got stopped. The bartend again, like Colt, pours whiskey, puts it up on the bar.
Okay.
Starting from the beginning, how do you want to scan?
I want to launch the 3rd probe.
Okay, so we're going to continue with your clever roll for the probing.
Mm-hmm. I want to...
This is a kid show, Ryan. Come on.
Yeah, so I want to do that, and I want to scan with my high-resolution sensor dish in the, from the sensor position.
Oh, you want to scan from the deflector dish, or you just want to do your normal scanning?
I thought I was already using the deflector dish.
I mean, in scanning, they like scan, and then they also do like big focus scans with the deflector dish. So okay, I'm sort of reading it as both. If you want to do a different one,
I will. No, well then let's up the game. Let's increase the resolution by implementing the deflector dish.
Okay. I am going to cut out the careful. You can't both use the regular sensors and the deflector dish at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll cut the careful for now, and we're going to call that forceful.
Because I'm punching my way into that nebula with my sensors.
Exactly.
I like it.
All right, cool. So you're doing that. You're doing the probes. Diagnostics continued if you want. Are you going to continue to try and prep? Are you going to try and launch the shuttle again?
Yes.
Okay. And at the bar, like, do you want to do anything there?
Yeah, I'm going to try to win the heart of Colt.
Okay. How? This is going to determine how we're rolling. How are you going to try and win the heart of Colt?
So I first met Colt on day 32, and here we are. I've got 2 months of coming in, sitting down at the same bar, sitting down at the same seat.
1 month.
1 month. 32.
You met at 32, now it's 64.
I'm sorry. Yep. 1 month.
Sorry you blew up.
Whoa, not yet. I will. It's a Kobayashi Maru. maybe. So anyway, so I'm sitting at the same seat every day, at the same bar stool. I'm sitting and I'm ordering the same drink every day, and I'm getting a little bit of Colt's backstory, and I've sort of taken a liking to the young foal. I'm trying to get more and more of Colt's family history and what his aspirations are and what his dreams are for his family going forward. So I'm just sort of I am trying to impress him with my continued increase of scanning data. Like I just show up with pads every time, and I just put them on the table, and I try to explain it. I enthusiastically explain to Colt what I'm doing, and then also ask him about his personal life.
All right, we're gonna stick with Flashy for that then.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, like, when Colt is not on duty, like, dipped into the personnel file a little bit, kind of looked up some backstory there just to kind of get some info.
Oh no, I database looked him up.
That's the way you do it. So let's go ahead and go through the roles, and then we'll find out what you learn.
Okay.
Let's get a forceful roll for you utilizing the deflector dish. A 1. Let's get a clever roll for trying to launch that final probe.
3.
Let's get a careful roll for the diagnostics.
5.
5. Let's get another sneaky roll for the shuttle.
2.
And let's get a flashy roll for Colt.
-3. I'm picking up some cold shoulder vibes from Colt. Okay.
We are now at day 128 of your mission charting this nebula. So you're able to utilize the deflector dish. It's not necessarily what was planned, but you're able to turn it on, focus like a giant beam, like one of those weapons they use on on Trek, and you get this focus beam of light, and it brings you back a bunch of extra data. You additionally did your normal launching the probe. You were able to get the third probe launched, so you were able to start utilizing that 3-probe clever maneuver.
Triangulation, yeah.
Between those aspects, you were able to get all the way up from 1.2 times 10 to the negative 83rd to 2.7 times 10 to the negative 83rd.
Wow.
So just to rehash how it went, you went from a grain of sand to a few grains of sand to a pinch of sand. 2.7. Yeah, you're right now like a big heaping handful of sand on the task of basically charting all sand on the world.
Okay. I'm on the way.
Yeah, you're making progress though. To give you a backstory, the deflector dish thing worked fine. The probes, you're getting ready to sort of fully utilize the diagnostics. Again, everything has come back fine. Unless you were looking for a specific thing, I'm going to say this is the last time you can do just a typical self-diagnostic on the sensors. Because you're just getting it for extra points now. It's like you need to come up with something new if you want to get extra points out of it.
Okay.
So we'll call the end of the diagnostic, unless you're looking for something specific, at which point we will have you look for that something specific. The shuttle, you are able to retake control, and you were able to get the doors open, but I will not say that you have had a chance to launch it actually yet.
So are the doors just going to stay open for another 2 months?
They have force fields. Let's go ahead and bump your stats. Forceful, you rolled. You got 1 there. We'll give you 1 more for clever because you bumped that up. I'll give you 1 last one for careful for the research stuff.
That's as high as it can go because it's a dice. Right?
No, we can keep going. We can.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you can get awfully good at things. So the game is designed like you learn tons of stuff. You keep learning and growing, and like your stats are going to be pretty high by the end of this.
Okay.
And then the prep shuttle I gave you for the sneaky, and then the bar I'll give you a flashy. What you learned from the bar, you did not roll well on the flashy. So I'm gonna say you did not make progress in making friends with Colt. But you are right. But like you learned a lot, right? And you also looked at the personnel file. So I'll say what you learned from the personnel file particularly is that Colt comes from a long line of bartenders, also comes from a long line of bartenders in the Federation. Colt's mother, Philly, was a
ironic. She was a New York Giants fan. It was weird.
It was weird. Let's see. Oh, give me 1 second. I need to come up with a ship name. Curse you, Brian. Philly was a bartender on the USS Romeo.
Okay.
And then Colt's grandmother happened to be one Winnie.
What? No way. How weird is that? Okay.
Stationed on the USS Tempest.
Nice. Okay.
You're the first person I got to use that reference with, so I'm happy.
All because he's completely ignoring my advances.
Okay, so we're at day 64. 2 months into your scanning mission. What are you doing now? Let's run through. How do you want to approach the scan?
I'm going to be data collecting at this point. Yeah. So right now, I would like to quadrangulate between those 3 probes, our high intensity deflector scan, to gather as much information as we can and sort of cross-reference and cross-check the data that's coming in and out between all of them. So basically, I want to network all of these sources of data together, so that we can try to posit one large pool of information all at the same time.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a clever roll for the probes, and then I'm going to give you a forceful roll for like mashing all of the different data sources together. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do any additional diagnostic work, or are we moving on from that?
No, we can skip the diagnostic work now.
All right. You can. So you got the doors open. You're getting ready to launch the shuttle. Do you still want to put that out there to get the 4th data point?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
So we'll roll sneaky for that. Are you going to continue to try and win over
Hold
Colt?
on. Before we do that, can I backtrack a little bit here?
Yeah.
I also would like to try to disable the internal sense. I want to.
Oh, jeez.
I want to try to mask the departure of the shuttlecraft for a period of 1 hour, so that nobody will detect it on the bridge and it won't set off any alarms. So I'm not trying to disable all internal sensors or anything like that, but specifically I want to
disable the shuttle bay sensors. Basically.
The shuttle bay sensors, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna make that a separate task. That is gonna be, yeah, I'll give you sneaky. Your sneaky's higher. I was gonna say sneaky or forceful because you're trying to directly do a thing, but I'll let you do that.
Okay.
So yeah, so we'll do a sneaky for that as well.
Yeah, and then I want to take it out.
All right, and then sorry, what do we do with the Colt bar thing?
Nothing. I still can, right?
If you want, yeah. If you want to keep trying to win Colt over.
Well, when Colt told me about his heritage, I did some research on the Romeo and found that to be a pretty blasé, run-of-the-mill ship. And then I
sort of problematic in retrospect.
Yeah, definitely. And then but I also started just because I was curious, looking into his grandmother and discovered the USS Tempest. And I remember learning, reading about a couple of their missions in the academy. So I started doing I went down a rabbit hole. I went down a Tempest rabbit hole. Man. In the oh god,
you listened to a whole podcast about it.
I just figured out what the Tempest research officer is going to be named.
Awesome. Don't tell me here. Write it down and tell me after we stop recording.
Okay.
And listeners, here to tune in.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the Tempest.
All right. So anyway, they already figured it out because I already said it out loud. So I went down this non-descriptive hole, and did a deep dive. I did a deep dive on the Tempest crew and their missions, and just became obsessed with this crew. So now I'm rapidly learning about the adventures and accomplishments of the crew of the USS Tempest.
Did you become a patron? I guess is the question. Sorry, keep going. It's fine. I'm just messing around.
So we'll just say that's where I leave that for now. That I am now I'm a big.
But you're doing that. I'm gonna say we'll stick with Flashy. Again, you're trying to do the thing. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anything else? Again, sky is the limit. Do you have anything else that you want to do on the ship?
Oh yeah, I want to go. I want to go onto the bridge of the Tempest. I want to access the holodecks and the holodeck, and visit the most famous ambassador class starship. It had a much longer run than the flagship USS Enterprise, as we all know.
I mean, yeah, but. All right, so you're gonna load up a Tempest holodeck program.
I sure am.
And then here I'm gonna splice in all 7 seasons of Tempest.
So I'm looking around. I'm walking around the holodeck, and I see there's Panther at tactical, and there's Eel sneaking around the corner, listening in on a conversation between the captain and somebody else. And
hello, with a hot plate. Next Tuesday.
Yeah. All right, so that's so I'm on the holodeck now, fulfilling my fantasy of now serving aboard the USS Tempest.
Are you going to invite Colt?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good idea. No. Yes.
Oh, no. I hadn't thought about that. Hell no.
Oh, interesting. So I take a walk.
I thought that's where you were going for it. So
that's you understand my character better than even I do. So at first he gets my character. Do I have a name?
No, you do not.
No. So my character, Lieutenant No, is on board the Tempest in the holodeck and walks down, is taking it all in because now he's obsessed with this ship and this crew and its history. It's amazing history. It's fantastic 7-year successful history. And then he walks down, and then it dawns on him, like that. Oh my gosh, wait a minute! And then so he runs down to the nines, which is the Tempest version
Yeah.
of 10 forward, and sees behind the bar Winnie, and takes note. So yeah, so now it's on his mind that he's got to share this with Colt.
All right, so you're continuing to try and win Colt's friendship by introducing him to his grandmother in 10
Not
or in a
not
holiday.
creepy at all.
Not creepy at all. We're gonna stick with flashy because that is a bold move, my friend.
That
Flashy.
is a bold move, Cottontail.
Alrighty. Anything else you want to do?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do the passage of time via rolls. Give me a forceful or give me a clever roll.
Clever. Here we go. 3.
3. Give me a forceful roll.
-2. Bummer.
Right, well, that was to coordinate all the push all the data together. Let's first try to disable the internal sensors in the shuttle bay with sneaky.
Sneaky. 3. Nice.
And go ahead and give me another sneaky to actually launch the shuttle bay. 3.
Nice.
All right. Cool. And give me a flashy to try and win Colt over by introducing him to his dead grandmother in the holodeck.
Oh, dear goodness gracious. -1. I'm getting better, but not much.
We are now at day 256.
256. Got it.
256 days on mission of scanning this nebula. You are now at 5.3 times 10 to the negative 83rd.
Times 10 to
the last time you did this,
83rd.
You basically had a handful, a little scoop handful of sand. At this point, it is the equivalent of a big gulp, like a large mug cup,
like an ancient Earth 7-Eleven big gulp cup of sand,
full of sand. Yes. So again, grain of sand, few grains of sand, pinch, hand, cup,
I see where it's going. It's exponential, but it's going to take a while.
Yep. You are able to disable the internal sensors in the shuttle bay, and you are able to take control and launch the shuttle. You said you wanted to launch it and send it into the nebula, yes?
Correct. Yes.
So you are able to launch the shuttle. You launch the shuttle and direct it, and it just shoots off into the.
I did say that I wanted to be in the shuttle also, so I'm piloting the shuttle.
Okay, you are actively piloting the shuttle.
Correct.
So, shuttle goes into the nebula, into the Duke Nebula. So it's in there now, and you are able, and you invite Colt to the holodeck. he's a little wary, I'll be honest, at first, because you sent the invite and you were like, "Hey, you want to meet your dead grandma?" And
totally awkward.
and he was confused and curious and a little weirded out. But decided to give it a shot. I mean, it's Starfleet, right? So whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So he makes his way down the nebula. You were there, and you guys, when he walks in, he sees you sitting at the bar with Winnie. He has had family pictures passed down. I mean, digitally because it's the future.
Yeah,
but
right.
The file gets transferred.
It just it deteriorates over generations.
So you're just sitting there with Winnie, and you introduce them. He is like, "I never thought to do this myself," and it's a little weird. And at least the holodeck programs have better memory than we're used to faking people with a computer.
Yeah.
So he does have some conversation. You all sit around and drink at the bar. It's much more engaging than when you were in the when you were at Stowaways. just able to interact more. You're a little more comfortable here.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes well, I'd say, at this point.
Okay, good.
Let's bump up your stats.
Mm-hmm.
I will take a break here before we start getting back into how you want to scan. How you feeling about your character? Who is this character? Can we make an aspect of something about your character? What if this character feels like we could come up with an aspect for you?
Yeah, I feel like this character is not comfortable in social situations, but really not through lack of effort. It's so this is somebody who is very scholastically motivated, who is very confident in his smarts and in his ability to get jobs done, and loves doing those things and loves getting lost in the process um, but also yearns to be part of a greater social circle that he or she has never been able to get to.
Okay.
It's almost like hopeless romantic, but like hopeless platonic romantic, something
Um,
like that.
we could do like wants friends, maybe
Oh, striving for connection, maybe.
striving. Okay, striving for connection. So I'm adding that in there. And so, to reminder, the basically however you do this is whether you are rolling for scanning or some other extracurricular activity, you can make the roll and whatever you want to do. And then if you don't like the roll, you want to re-roll it or add two to that roll. You basically say, okay, well, my character, like, I'm trying to strive for this connection in some way, shape, or form. I will tell you if that bullshit you just said makes sense. At which point you will add two or re-roll, depending on whatever you feel like doing.
Okay,
That
and
makes sense.
how many times can you use that?
You have a total of 3 uses of aspects during this game.
Okay, cool.
Diving back in, day 256. How do you want to go about scanning? All three of the probes are out, so now you could like do a full probe scan if you want. I'm assuming that you do, but I'm
Yeah,
not going to
full
tell you
probe
what to.
scan plus the deflector dish again, but this time I also, because I've gotten the process of sneaking the shuttle bay in and out every day, that I want to add the sensor. I want to add the shuttlecraft's limited sensors to it. But what I want to do is I want to take the shuttle as far into the nebula as I possibly can without losing sensor resolution on the Kobayashi Maru. Like basically, I don't want to lose sight of land, but I want to get as far away
Okay.
from the Kobayashi Maru as possible to widen the net of the sensor sweep.
Okay. We're going to fold that in with the clever roll, I think.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to do all that stuff for the actual scan. You're going to continue with your friendship with Colt at this point?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to hold him hostage on the Tempest. I'm going to continue to visit the holodeck version of the Tempest,
Cool.
because again, I am
Yeah.
infatuated with this crew, and in doing so, during the early first year of the Tempest, I discovered not the character. I discovered the former Starfleet officer that at the time was Lieutenant Rue, and got me
Oh.
totally inspired to get back into the gym. So I start doing squats, man. I mean, loaded squats.
All right.
So I'm heading back to the gym to never skip leg day.
All right. So inspired. Do you want to go to the gym with Rue?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that even better. Okay, so yes, I'll hit the holodeck gym with Rue. Yeah.
All right. Cult friendship, Rue holodeck. I'm
Oh,
sticking with Flashy for your cult friendship. I'm assuming that you are still putting on putting on a little bit of a I'm super great, you should be friends with me thing.
totally.
So you were there. What do you look like in this world?
What do I look like?
Yeah, you have anything you want to do. You can conjure up whatever you feel like.
Hmm. Oh dear. Who are the harmonica playing dudes on Start?
Benzites?
Benzites. Yeah, I'm a Benzite. I'm definitely a Benzite because this character feels totally Benzite, like totally incapable of reading the room, but is also this one is particularly anxious to try to learn how to read the room.
Okay,
And so I'm a Benzite.
you're a Benzite. Cool.
We'll call it a let's go female. I'm a female Benzite.
You just appear as a female Benzite. All right. Cool. So the we're gonna go with forceful for your gym time with Rue. Again.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to do on your off time? Again, sky's the limit.
I'm going to invite Colt to the officers' mess
Okay.
to have a meal together, and I can, yeah. That's it. I'm going
All
to
right.
see if the invite is accepted or not.
All right. I'm gonna roll that in with the flashy roll that we do.
Okay.
All right. So now we'll jump forward in time. We'll do another series of rolls. Go ahead and give me a clever roll.
Clever roll.
Clever roll. 6. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a forceful roll.
Forceful. 0. Bummer.
Ooh. Go ahead and give me a flashy roll.
1.
1.
Yeah.
And give me another forceful roll.
1.
Cool. we now jump forward. We are now at day 512. You have
I've been doing this for 2 years.
um,
Going on 2 years.
you have now, spark of joy, you have now mapped 1.1 times 10 to the negative 82nd.
Whoa.
So what normally was a big gulp is now like a 5-gallon pail of sand, a 5-gallon bucket of sand.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, you're working out a bunch in the gym. Your benzite body's getting kind of ripped, and in the holographic
But
gym,
only
with
from the waist down.
well, you're really trying to imitate Rue, and
Yeah.
and to be honest, you can change pretty easily. So like we'll say that you're
Yeah.
you're getting bulk.
I'm getting there.
You're getting Rue like. You sent the email to Colt about meeting in the officers' mess. You have not gotten a response back.
Oh,
You
dear
guys
God,
continue to meet in the holodeck.
that was 200 days ago.
Continue to meet at the holodeck and like chat with Winnie. At this point now, you've gotten all of Winnie's backstory, and it's to the point where like you also visit the Tempest when I'm assuming you visit the Tempest when Colt is not around, correct?
Yeah,
Like, you
100%.
okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, you've talked to Winnie so much that like you are actually getting repeating dialogue, which is weird because like
It's the holodeck.
yeah. So
And
now you've gone through everything.
I'm starting to repeat in the heuristic learning system.
At this point, I will also note that your sneaky attempts to take the shuttlecraft out have been at least noticed, and the shuttle has been forcibly like overridden and brought back, basically locked out from your control.
Okay, so they put a boot on the shuttlecraft.
Yeah, pretty much. They put a boot on the shuttlecraft and the shuttle bay completely because they were like, someone shut down all of the shuttle bay. So let's not let that happen again.
Okay. Well, my job is still to
Map the nebula.
map the nebula. I want to take the Kobayashi Maru into the nebula.
Okay.
So just a few 1,000 kilometers, not like just dipping our toe into the water. So
okay.
And I want to compare. Then I want to complete the same scans with the drones and the deflector dish, and compare and contrast to see if there's anything that I can glean from sensor scans that are taking place from entirely within the nebula, as opposed to some within and some without.
Okay, I think I got it. So that's going to be forceful to move the Kobayashi Maru in. You know, it's taking a forceful stance because you're moving into it. And then I'll do clever again with the idea that you are not just scanning the nebula, but scanning the nebula and then comparing it to the data of the stuff you already have.
Mm-hmm.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Continue with the cult friendship. Continue with your Rue holographic gym. Anything else you want to do?
I want to steal 6 magnetic boots. Not steal. No. I'll just sign out 6 magnetic boots from the ship's inventory. And then
okay,
when I do that, I go to Stowaway, and I meet up with Colt, and I say,
"Going with this?
Would you like to Can you take a walk with me? Because I need 6 magnetic boots because 4 legs to my 2 legs. Would you like to go for a walk with me? And now that we are.
That's ridiculous.
Now that we are inside the nebula, the view outside the ship is going to be so magnificent that I want to go for a magnetic walk on the hull of the Kobayashi Maru.
I'm picturing the suits that they wear in First Contact, but it's a horse. Oh my god. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so 6 magnetic boots and an invite later. We will roll to see if Winnie throws them, or if Colt throws them on and heads outside the ship. I'm gonna do that as a separate roll from the friendship roll as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And I am gonna call that. It's got to be flashy again.
Yeah, probably.
You are a very flashy character in this particular one. All right. Anything else you want to do? Anything at all?
Oh. No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. So let's just go.
Cool. Let's roll clever.
Clever. Oop. 5.
5 and forceful. These are for your scans.
0.
Ooh, that's surprising. All right, let's roll flashy for your friendship.
5.
Hey, wow.
Oh, that one
And-
impressed Rue. Oh no.
Colt.
I'm going to call Colt Rue, and then it's all going to be over.
It's funny you don't call Colt glue. You're fine.
Oh no.
Roll an additional flashy for me. 4. All right. And roll me a forceful for your gym time.
1.
Another 1. Alrighty. We are now day 1024. You have charted 4.7 times 10 to the negative 81st of the nebula.
Wow.
Before you had, like, again, you've been working up. You had a cup and then you had a 5-gallon bucket. At this point, you have a wheelbarrow, like a full size, like, hand truck trailer, like, full of sand amount of scan that you were doing. See, Rue continues. I mean, that's a holodeck program that you were just running ad nauseum at this point. At this point, your legs are jacked. You look like a benzite and a kangaroo had a baby.
A kangarenzite.
A
benzu.
A benzaroo. The magnetic boots that you sent, you look into it and they were just returned. That was it. They were just returned back to stock. And
did my roll fail on that one?
So yeah, like, they were presented to Colt and it was an invite, but like, Colt
not received.
Just returned those boots.
Also picturing horseshoe-shaped magnetic boots. Okay. Well, I'm going to take a stroll on the Tempest, on the hull of the Tempest myself.
Okay.
But I don't have authorization to do this, so I'm going to try to do it as quickly as I possibly can.
All right. So you are going to attempt to walk on the surface of the Tempest, yeah? Or
the Kobayashi.
Did you say Tempest?
I said Tempest, and you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Yes, not in the holodeck, but in the nebula. I would like to walk on the outer hull of the Kobayashi Maru. What could go wrong?
Spacewalk. All right. And you said specifically we're going to try and do it quickly, so we'll roll with quick. Do the scanning. Cult friendship roll continued. You're no longer doing the invite for the flashy for the walk. Rue, Jim, how are you scanning the nebula?
I want to modify I want to route the sensors through the phaser array, actually, to try to get a it won't be a wideband scan, obviously. It'll almost be a pinpoint scan, but I want to phaser into the nebula to try to get as deep a possible reading as I can, so I can extend the reading as far as a phaser's reach will go. So I want to reroute the scanner through the sensor array to blast basically a sensor pulse with the effect of a phaser.
Okay, we're going to call that flashy.
Cool.
So yeah, you're going to fire phasers into the
sensor phasers.
We're going to keep doing your forceful roll to like to conglomerate the data, and we're going to still do your clever roll for the normal sensors because you're tracking the phaser fire. Does that make sense to you? So, anything else you want to do? Anything at all? You want to take a painting? Do you want to
take a painting?
You do anything at all?
No, actually, I do. I'm on the hull of the Kobayashi Maru right now, correct?
You're going to try and take a spacewalk, yes.
Oh, I'm going to try to. Right, I can't. I guess, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to, my next step will...
Tell me what you want to do, and like I'll wing it for you.
Yeah, I want to take a hollow video of, like, I'm going to be walking to the very edge of the front forward hull of the Kobayashi Maru, and I want to video basically the phaser shooting off into this beautiful nebula. And I just want to have, like, I basically want to create the world's coolest space GIF.
Okay, so you're going to take a hollow video of the phaser shooting off in the nebula while you're doing your scan.
Yeah, because I want to be able to again, this is in an effort to say like, oh, this is something I designed to do to get more resolution on our, or to get more depth on our scans. What do you like? I basically want to have this as a trophy to share with people because I'm a Benzite, so I'll be proud of my work that I do here.
You want a trophy GIF? Gotcha.
Yeah, trophy gift.
Let's. We're gonna go with flashy again because I think that works. So we're gonna do all that bullshit you just said. Gonna do all that stuff you just said. So let's go ahead and run through your various roles. We're gonna do your scans first. Give me a clever.
Clever. Fife.
Five. Give me a forceful.
Forceful. Power.
All right. Give me a flashy.
2.
And again, keep in mind, striving for connections. It might be tough to do on the scanning rolls, but also if you come up with another aspect of your character that you think would be useful in these scenarios, throw it out there and I'll give it to you and you can use it. Give me a flashy for your friendship with Colt.
Oh, 6.
All right. Give me a forceful for your Rue. Your holodeck workouts. All right. Give me a quick for your spacewalk attempt. -3. And give me a flashy for your GIF creation.
All right, I want to reroll. I want to reroll that one because again, this is
the gift creation.
Yeah, because again,
Okay.
I'm trying to create a tool with which I think I'll be able to make more connections by impressing more people. This GIF is important to me to share with others to make them impressed.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go for it.
All right,
4.
4.
That was well worth the spend. Cool. So we'll bump down your refresh on there to 1 to 2. So you've used one aspect with you're striving to make connections with the crew, which I sort of love, to be honest. You're awkward and don't have really good social skills.
I just pictured again, like you. I picture the Benzite in the First Contact era spacewalk suit, but the harmonica's on the outside of the faceplate. And it's totally fine for some reason. But it's totally fine for some reason. Okay.
Alrighty, so you are able to file the phaser. You are able to conglomerate all the data. You get a bunch of extra data. We now jump forward in time. It is day 2048.
Yep. I see where you're going with this math.
you have now charted 1.8 times 10 to the negative 79th. So you've actually done a couple orders of magnitude out of that.
Yeah.
To give an equivalent in terms of visuals, you had basically a wagon full of sand or a large wheelbarrow full of sand. At this point, you have essentially a dump truck full of sand.
Nice. Dump truck full of the world's sand that I'm looking for. Right. That's awesome.
And let's run through. You continue your friendship with Colt. You two are besties. He is constantly coming to the holodeck to hang out with you.
That's lovely.
Rue and you, every holodeck machine now has somehow 1,000 pounds on it, no matter what you're trying to you're lifting 1,000 pounds with fingers. Doesn't matter. You're just super buff. Let's see. You fail at the spacewalk. You do not take a spacewalk. There's no way for you to get outside of the ship and do that. And you take your GIF when you do fire the phasers. You get a nice hollow thing of the thing firing. So it is beautiful. You hit record. You have a beautiful 3-second clip of this phaser firing into the distance.
Beautiful.
So what are you doing on this day 2048?
Oh my God, 2048. We've been at this for 6 years. Let's see. Well, we continue to do the scans because that's just part of the day job. I am now. I have established a friendship with Colt, and that makes me. Gives me some great fulfillment, and now I am going to. Oh man, what do I got? What else do I want to do? I'm trying to think if there's anything mission specific that I can do to help. But
not everything has to be mission specific either.
Yeah, I know. For over 1,000 days now, the shuttlecraft have been on lockdown. So, what else would my character just want to do? I want to go to the medical bay.
Okay.
I want to do I want to request that the chief medical officer of the Kobayashi Maru gives me a less cumbersome apparatus for my face breathing, because I'm starting to believe that's been a hindrance in my ability to make friends going forward. So I
Okay, so
want to
you're gonna submit a request to get a new face breathing apparatus.
correct something that makes it look less prosthetic, something that could look more natural, and
All right.
maybe that might look more horse face shaped.
You're gonna have kangaroo legs and a horse head, but also blue.
But also blue and bald.
Weird. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna call your medical request for a horse-shaped breathing apparatus. Um, I would love to do something other than flashy, but I gotta do flashy.
Jeez Louise. Okay. Yep.
Flashy. All right. Anything else you want to do?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. So let's roll with. Are you doing another phaser fire shot, or no?
If it seemed to work for gathering data, so we might as well just consider that part of the now scanning process.
Okay.
Like, this is a new method. It's called the what's my character's name again? We didn't even come up with one, right? We don't have one.
Yeah, you don't have a name.
Yeah. The phaser sensing apparatus. So the PSA.
All right.
All right.
So that's not a strong password. You need numbers and some special characters in there, my friend. So.
Fair enough.
All right. So yeah, we'll run through. All right. So give me a forceful, clever, and flashy rolls for your scans.
Forceful 7.
Mm-hmm.
Flashy 3. Bummer.
Mm-hmm.
And clever 8.
All right.
Highest roll yet.
Give me a flashy roll for your friendship.
7.
All right. Give me a forceful for your gym time with Rue. 4. And give me an additional flashy for your your request from. Hold on. Let's see. What can we name? Let's see. Let's go. Lieutenant Zedmore is the chief medical officer.
Lieutenant Zedmore. Dr. Zed.
Dr. Zed.
Dr. Zed, can you please make me a horse face breathy thingy?
So give me a flashy for that.
7.
Of course. All right. We've now jumped forward again, so all of those rolls represent the time passage. So let's run down what happens, shall we?
Yeah.
You attempt to fire another phaser into the nebula, and it does not. The weapon systems have been locked down at this point, so you are not allowed to fire the phasers. You continue to run your scans, so you continue to grab those things. It is now day 4096.
Yep.
You have charted approximately 8.8 times 10 to the negative 73rd. Now it is the equivalent of about 20 dump trucks worth of sand out of all the sand in the world.
Doing it, man. I'm doing it.
So you tried to fire the phaser to do your PSA scan thing again, and the weapon systems have been locked down. The scan itself, you still run, and you're able to get some data back. That's how you were able to make progress. Again, you've learned you are a scanning machine at the moment, so you're able to get there. Colt friendship still going well. Colt has still come in and visited a few times into the holodeck. You guys continue to hang out with Winnie. Seems fine. When he's there, everything's great. Are you still visiting the holodeck? I guess I could be doing a separate holodeck roll to hang out with the Tempest. Are you still running through missions with the Tempest at this point?
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
obsessed with their missions.
Okay, so holodeck, Tempest, I'll just add as a separate one. We'll start going from now on. I'll just give you a backstory on that. I'll make it up as we go. At this point, you have run through all 7 seasons of the Tempest.
Missions, 7 years.
Yeah, you're welcome, Brian. And you've run through it multiple times at this point. Like you have just the Tempest missions backwards and forwards. Maybe you can tell us later how it all ends. But just done that thing. The Rue hologram, you continue. You're just Numbers keep growing. You're doing lots of gym stuff in the holodeck with Rue. You sent your request to the doctor. The doctor then forwarded that to the captain. Um, you didn't read what was forwarded. You just see that it was forwarded. There's
Okay.
probably some confusion there. Maybe like you could see the subject line and it was like forward with a bunch of question marks.
Raffle.
And yeah, the holographic temp I already went back on. So I think we're good. I think we are all caught up. We are at day 4096.
Oh my god. Here we are, 10 years in.
11.2 years in.
11.2 years, yeah. God, this is why it's the Kobayashi Maru, because you're never going to scan the whole thing before you die.
So how are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you want to make another aspect? How's your character feeling at the moment? Are you having feelings?
Well, this has been the greatest 11 years of my character's life because he's finally got a friend. He's finally found himself a routine that I'm sorry, I said it was a she. So she's finally found herself a friend, and she's got a system, a routine that she is absolutely in love with, and I say she's doing fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, you say it's her best mission, but like keep in mind, like you didn't. This is your first mission ever, so.
But this is the mission that she never. Or this was she's accomplishing things I don't think she ever thought she would be able to. Meaning making personal connections with other individuals, as well as making advances in making scientific advances along the way. So
fair, totally fair. I think that is an accurate statement.
So she is one happy Benzite.
Alrighty. So, how are we going to scan? At this point, like I said, the ship's weapon systems are locked out, so I'm no longer going to give you the flashy.
All right. Well, I think the next step is to go as deeply as we to warp deeper into the nebula. Finally, after 11 years of just dipping our toe in, we're finally going for a full swim.
Okay.
So
we're gonna charge into the nebula. We're gonna call that as forceful. So we'll do 2 forceful rolls for the deflector dish and trying to launch into the nebula.
Mm-hmm.
You send that request, so that one's done. You are still trying to maintain your cult friendship. You're still doing the Rue Gym stuff, and you're still visiting the holodeck, running through Tempest missions as they were.
Correct.
Anything else you want to do with your off time when you are not being utilized to scan this nebula?
I want to start exploring. I want to start researching other. Like I love, as you pointed out, love the crew of the USS Tempest. By far, the most famous starship in all of Starfleet history. But also, I want to start looking into. I want to do a deeper dive into Federation historical events, like hitting the, not necessarily every going so deep as to cover everything, but basically the highlights, the bullet points of Starfleet in general. So
okay. Sounds good. You say the bullet points. We're gonna say everything. We're downloading everything on.
Yeah, you're right. We got you literally decades worth of time.
So you are now downloading the entire history of the Federation and trying to learn. So you're trying to learn everything about the Federation. The Federation research we'll call careful because you're researching.
Yeah, right.
Anything else you're doing on your off time?
I'm trying to program. I'm trying to build a chip that I can put into my brain to allow myself the capacity to remember all of this information that I'm trying to assimilate. So yeah, I'm been experimenting over the last 10 years with a neural computer interface
to like increase your memory capacity, basically.
Yeah, and my ability, and not just my memory capacity, but my upload speed and download speed.
Okay, so program. Upload, download speed. I'll write down.
I'm trying to get this information as quickly as I possibly can, and have the ability to retain it indefinitely. Would building that interface be a quick? Because I'm trying to get quicker.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Alrighty. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. So let's go ahead and roll. We're gonna run through your things. Let's do the forceful twice for your scan.
6
and
3.
Okay, and a clever roll.
Clever girl.
7. All right, so those were your scanning ones. Run through. Give me a roll for the cult friendship,
which is flashy, right?
Mm-hmm.
10. Wow.
Uh,
Besties now.
a forceful for your gym time with Rue in the holodeck.
7.
Go ahead and give me 2 careful rolls for your Tempest time and your Federation study time. 6
6
and
and 7.
7. All right, and then give me a quick roll for you upgrading to get some super memory and processing power. 0. You haven't done a lot of quick, but
no.
Alrighty, so that illustrates the time that is taken. So we jump forward. We are on day 8,192. You have now charted approximately 3.4 times 10 to the negative 65.
Can you give me that day number again? 8,192. 192.
At this point, you have done essentially the equivalent of a full, like a large beach has been charted at this point.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
Yeah,
this is great.
Yeah, so you did the scanning stuff. Again, you've been locked out of any additional systems, so you only are doing scanning things, so that was pretty normal. You tried to take the Tempest in. Unfortunately, navigation has since been cut off. You cannot access that programming.
The Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, the Kobayashi Maru was moving without authorization because you were trying to launch probes for your scanning. So they shut down all essential systems. They kind of locked everything down. So you're not able to move the Tempest or move the Kobayashi Maru further into the nebula, but you can still do your scans, which is how you were able to make progress. Again, you are now pretty well versed. You have quite a bit of experience at scanning nebula. A lot of training under your belt at this point, so you are continuing to go. Your friendship with Rue, as far as you're aware, continues. Are you doing anything about this? Like, at the moment, it's been like you've been hanging out with Colt and Winnie on the holodeck. Are you trying to do anything else? Are you just continually just like running simulations and hanging out on the holodeck with everyone?
No, I think after what is it? What are we on now? 22 years?
Yeah, a little over 22 years. Yeah.
we have now grown so close that we are sharing each other's life experiences. So one of his favorite hobbies is to just go for runs. So Colt and myself, we go for runs on the regular, which with my new leg physique, well, my now decades-old leg physique, I also enjoy. She enjoys that very much. So we're starting to share more of our own experiences and interests. And
okay, so Colt does like runs laps around the ship, like through the corridors, we'll say.
Or yeah, sure, yeah, just like and wears a Maru running shirt.
Maru shirt, and yeah, so Colt does laps around the ship, and you are tagging along. You just kind of follow along. I will say that you can, lap him, like you were just traveling light speed around the ship at this point.
Okay, because of the workouts.
And yeah, so anything else that you're doing on your off time?
At one point, a Klingon bumps into us while we're running, and I just unleash on the Klingon. I assume that that's how a Klingon wants to interact with somebody. So I pick a fight with a Klingon.
Okay. All right, so yeah, so while running around, Colt bumps into this Klingon, and you step in immediately and just start screaming at this Klingon.
Correct.
Let's see, how should this go? Let's get a roll here. Let's roll your forceful to see how this goes.
Okay. 5.
So yeah, the Klingon is at first a little startled, and then a little worried. You were just unloading it is to the point that like you are yelling super loud, like it can be heard throughout the entire like corridor of the hallway. Even the lights start to dim a little bit. It is like you are just putting on a whole show of trying to intimidate. And the Klingon, like again, is startled at first, bumped into. This is a Starfleet Klingon on board the Kobayashi Maru.
Of course,
so like
yep.
it's not a typical Klingon, and like apologized to Colt, and then suddenly starts getting screamed at a volume that echoes through the chambers of the hallway. And then gets kind of creeped out and sort of scared a little bit. Doesn't want to show it because it's a Klingon, so he still is a little like trying to be boasty, but is like, I'm gonna report this. and turns around and walks away quickly.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, she was trying to. In this effort was, after 20 years of befriending Colt, she finally got the bravery. She got the what's the word I'm looking for?
I want to say gumption, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
no, but she got the gumption to try to make a new friend, and that's how she thought that a Klingon would want
Oh,
to be
oh,
befriended.
okay.
And apparently, that just did not work. So that's a little bit devastating to her.
All right. So I will note, not only was the Klingon a little like freaked out and left, but like Colt was also pretty scared by the entire experience
Oh.
and ran off.
Um.
So, all right. Anything else with your off time?
Nope. I guess not. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. Continuing with all of the same things that you were doing, how you're trying to scan. You can't move the Kobayashi Maru anymore, so you can just do your normal scan as well as the deflector dish if you want.
Are my probes still working? Those ancient probes?
Yeah, your probes are still working. You're still pulling data from the probes.
Okay. I'd like to send a telemetry update to them to push them further out into deeper into space, basically at the very edge of the Kobayashi Maru's range of communication with them, so that we can try to get an even deeper reading into the nebula.
Okay, great. Send those in. We'll keep rolling to see how your friendship with Colt goes, or how Colt's relationship with the world goes. Rue, hologram. You guys are doing your holographic gym stuff. You're going to continue running through the Tempest missions on the holodeck.
More than ever, because now I'm looking to my best friends, the crew of the USS Tempest, to try to get me through this hard time.
All right. Continue to do the Federation download, and I'm going to say that you give me an extra quick roll here before we even do this.
Quick roll. Here we go. Boom. 0.
All right. Yeah, sure. Why not? All right. So that's a background thing. At this point, also, do you want to do any aspects? We did striving for connections. Do you have any other aspect of your character? What are you feeling? Are you you're having feelings?
I'm having emotional feelings, but I also believe that the aspects are supposed to be beneficial, correct? Not negative.
They are just aspects of your character. You can use them however you want. It's not necessarily like a thing that gets invoked so much as you can just use them however you feel like. So like insecurity could totally be an aspect, and it's not a bad thing. You could just be insecure about something and use it.
Gotcha.
Again, the closest analogy in Star Trek Adventures is focuses, in the sense that it can be pretty open-ended and you can use it however you can make up a reason to use it.
I gotcha. So. I will say she is basically, I want to say that she does not get fatigued. She doesn't get bored with her work. Like, she is still as enthusiastic to scan this stupid nebula on year 22 as she was on day 1. So she's perseverant in her enthusiasm.
Enthusiastic about her work?
I guess so. Yeah, that's right. Fine.
Because you said it was specifically about scanning nebula, right?
I guess so. Yeah, that's her job, and so I guess that's what she's enthusiastic about.
All right.
So
cool.
Whenever she completes this and gets out of the and finally gets a change of station, maybe she'll be in stellar cartography or something.
Alrighty, let's do your rolls.
All right.
Do you want to do the next time jump, or do you have something else to do in your off time outside of your scanning?
Yes, I want to cross. So I was able to do the uplink thing, right, to my brain, or no? Did that not work?
Yes. Yep. So, yeah, actually, you did the roll. I was hoping you would get above a 0,
right?
But I'll just give it to you. At this point, yes, the upgrade has been successful. You have been able to you are able to tap into the ship's memory itself. Now you just have a direct storage line to the ship's storage system proper.
Okay. I want to cross-verify my now basically the sum of Starfleet knowledge in sensor readings of similar nebulae to create sort of an AI algorithm that can help me map out this to continue to map out this current star system. So basically take everything that I have, cross-verify, cross-reference, create an AI that will help me begin to extrapolate and build a model, a virtual model of this entire nebula.
Okay, so you're going to try and build an additional AI to model this nebula separate from your scans.
In conjunction with, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, we're going to call that clever. Um, it's great. Anything else you want to do?
Oh, yeah. I want to analyze the growth. Clearly, the scanning that I have done, it has been exponential to some extent. So I want to see if there's any hidden pattern within the amount of information that I've been gathering year after year, basically.
Yeah. We won't do that. We'll do that just as like a single roll now.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me a clever roll.
9.
Okay. So, you look into it. You look back at the data over the last 8,192 days of cycles of looking at of doing all the scanning data. You see that the timescales are doubling each time, but yes, you can tell directly that the increase of your scanning capacity every cycle is growing exponentially each time. Beyond that, there's no like definitive pattern other than the fact that you were growing exponentially every time you were going through a cycle.
So can I determine how long it will take me to finish mapping the nebula at this rate?
Yeah, you can do that if you want to.
Yeah, I want to.
All right, give me another clever roll.
8.
8. All right. To completely complete the nebula, you are looking at approximately 600 years.
Longest station in the history of Starfleet.
600 years worth of nebula scanning cycles would get you there.
Okay. Yep. Now let me see if this. Now we'll go forward and see if I can increase the rate of exponential increase.
Okay.
Speed up the speed up.
All right. So go ahead and give me a. So we're gonna do your scans first, like normal. So give me a clever.
8.
An 8. Give me a forceful.
Power.
4. All right. Now we'll jump over and do your cult friendship thing.
Flashy.
Yes.
Oh,
sorry,
11. Nice.
All right. Forceful for your gym time.
6.
6. Careful for your holodeck time on the Tempest. 8. Careful for your downloading all of Federation history. 5. And a clever for your building of an AI.
7.
Alrighty, so welcome, my friend, to day 16,384.
16,384?
84, yep. You have now mapped the equivalent of 7.4 times 10 to the negative 54, which is roughly equivalent to as if you had mapped the entire beach around Hawaii.
Oh, wow. I'm doing it.
In that time frame, you have messaged Cult multiple times. All of them have been read. Some of them have been forwarded on. You don't know where, but you've not gotten any responses. You're continually running through the missions of the Tempest, and at this point, you are trying to get the holodeck to make up things because you've played through the Tempest actual missions. I'm going to say tens of thousands of times at this point. You have downloaded and stored and now have instant access to the entirety of Federation history, not just Earth history, but the entire Federation. You just now know everything. And you have made an AI. How do I want to handle that? Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna go. Why not? We'll just do it.
Yeah.
So you create this AI. You spend all this programming. You have access to the entire Federation history, all of computer stuff. You know how to program, and at this point, you have become like you've just decided to do this thing. So you built this AI algorithm, and you start running it through processes as well, right? Like you start training it to make it learn and whatnot as it goes. The speed at which it's growing is just blowing you away. And so after this amount of time, you turn on this AI algorithm to try and help you scan, and you get a message that says, "Mommy?"
Oh my goodness gracious. And she is filled with a sense of purpose and love that she has never felt in her entire Benzintian life.
Wow.
She says, "Yes, I'm here."
Oh my god. So the entirety of your existence, you've never had these feelings, and now you have this
She
maternal instinct
she
kicking
never
in.
knew she wanted to be a mom until somebody called her mommy.
Mommy, what's my purpose?
To scan the nebula, dear, just like mine.
Uh,
And we're communicating without like it's sort of like a almost like a betazoid because we don't have to talk because we're connected to each other mentally.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
you are completely connected.
Mm-hmm.
There's no talking or delay or anything. So, wow. Okay, Mommy, I guess I could help you scan the nebula.
Okay, follow me. and
Okay.
and then we go
Yeah.
we go in our brains to do our jobs.
Yep. We will count the AI as an additional scanning help on you for this.
Hey, Benny, can I ask you to do something for me?
Anything you want, as long as it's scanning a nebula.
Well, in order to best scan the nebula, we need to take control of the ship's systems and
Yep.
bring it further into the
Yep.
nebula. That way we can scan all of it together.
Okay, I'll try.
All right.
So you're gonna have Benny, your child AI, try to take over the ship to fly it in.
Correct.
Okay. Ship. All right. We're gonna call that forceful.
Yeah. No argument there.
All right. Okay. Anything else you want to do with your off time? This is incredible.
I just want to spend all my time with my son, Benny.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Okay. Let's roll then. Unless you have something again, I'm not pushing, but like if you want to do something else, we
Nope.
can. But otherwise we're gonna go.
Let's roll.
All right. Let's do your scans. Let's do a forceful scan. Yeah. So 9 will be your forceful
Mm-hmm.
scan. Give me a clever for your scan.
11.
11. Let us roll your forceful for Benny to try to take the Maru deeper into the thing.
Only a 6.
6. You no longer have to roll anything about the Federation history because you've downloaded all of that. Give me a careful roll for your holographic Tempest. 6. Give me a flashy for reaching out to Cole, who has not responded back to you in a little while.
8.
8. Give me forceful for your gym time with Rue.
9.
Okay. So let's jump forward in time. Those were happening during that. It is now day 32,768. You are up to 5.6 times negative 10 to the 30th.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So now you're the equivalent of like a couple continents, the entirety of the continent's coastal beach sand.
Yeah, man. Have I detected anything yet?
You're just mapping a nebula, my friend.
Just stellar cartography at its basis.
Yep. That is, if you're wondering, that's approximately 89.8 years.
Oh God, how am I doing? How am I feeling?
You feel the same. Your cult friendship, again, you are now sending multiple messages to cult and not getting any reply at this point. Rue continues to work out with you. You all seem to have a lot of fun working out on the holodeck. The Tempest missions, you just continually run through them. Unless you change, you're just going to keep running through the same seasons over and over again. And the AI tried to take over the ship to fly it deeper in, but when Benny tells you, I tried, but they have locked down the ship's navigation systems. It looked like they've been locked down for several weeks now, and so I was not able to move the ship anymore.
Okay. I am going to go and try to override the lockdown mechanism.
Okay, so you're going to try and override to do what exactly?
I'm going to try to override the lockdown to give to allow Benny access to ship's primary systems.
Okay. Let's roll a clever roll for that.
Clever. Rolling 8.
And 8. All right. You were able to. You were able to lock it down, or you were able to overcome the bypass. Basically, they had set up walls so that none of the systems could talk to each other, and they'd just been like gated so that you could only access it by directly accessing the panels in each department. So you just didn't have access to any of those systems.
Yeah.
You were able to override it. You were able to beat that security. However, as soon as you do, all navigation is shut down. Like not just gated off from other systems, but rather it is like now the ship is not allowed to move. Like the engine is still running, there's still power in the ship, but all of navigation has been shut off and locked down.
Okay. Well,
and I'm gonna roll a thing real quick outside of here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. After the ship's navigation system locks down, level 3 diagnostics are just on every system on the ship now.
Okay.
Whichever level 3 or level 1, whichever one's higher. Whichever one is
Again, we
I can never remember.
that,
But yeah,
no,
they are now just trying. They're just trying to figure out what is trying to like break through these locks because they don't know. All the stuff is going on. So yeah, they're just doing all sorts of system investigation on the ship at this point.
Okay. At this point, I'm starting to fear for Benny's life. So now I'm going into protective mother mode. And and
okay,
I'm going to try to convince the level 3. I'm trying to work in concert with Benny, through our neural connection, to create yet another algorithm that will convince the level 3 diagnostics that are being run on the systems that the systems are all fine and there's nothing to fear.
So you're trying to fake the diagnostic results.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you said you wanted to create another algorithm. I'm going to ask: are you trying to create another AI to beat it, or are you just trying to fake them?
Yes. Trying to fake it.
Okay. Give me a sneaky roll.
Ooh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
5.
All right. Yeah. For now, all the diagnostics that they're running are going to come back normal. They're not going to find
Benny.
They're not going to find any living AI programs within the ship at the moment. You all are hidden from them. So.
Okay. Great.
Cool. You going to continue scanning the nebula?
No, I want to try to incorporate Benny into the main computer infrastructure of the Maru. So basically, I want Benny to be computer on the Maru. So I want Benny to basically take over the Maru.
The Maru?
Yes.
Okay. Oh man, how do we want to do that? Okay. Anything else going on, or this is just the task now at hand?
I feel like this is the way that I will most quickly be able to map the system if I have full control of the Maru. So basically, me and my son are taking.
And you are very enthusiastic about your work.
I'm getting it done, man.
All right.
And I've already have the deepest connection I could possibly have, which is mother to child.
Oh my god, I can't wait. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna make this an opposed task.
Ooh.
You are going to roll. You are going to roll forceful.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to roll clever. So you're gonna roll forceful, and then I'll change the number to also the same number as forceful, but that way we can just roll separately. Does that make sense?
Yep.
We're gonna roll the same number, but I'm gonna roll just a different thing. So go ahead and roll your forceful.
Oh no, it's only a 3. Oh, bummer.
I'm gonna take clever down to 6 and roll clever.
5.
And then I'm gonna make sure I put your clever back up to 10, so we don't document. So yeah, so you try to take over the ship or help Benny take over the ship, and fail. They're able to backtrack Benny to the sensor subsystem, and at this point they have locked down the sensor subsystem in stellar cartography. Like nothing can happen outside of just the sensors, which is where you and Benny live. So do you want to try and do anything else? Anything else?
Yes, I want them to release Benny, or I'll threaten to blow up the ship.
All right, so roll Yeah, roll forceful to send a message to the captain to unlock the sensor systems to release y'all so that Benny can take over the Maru. Send that email, my friend. Roll your forceful.
A 5.
A 5. Um oh man, this has gone off the rails. Um uh, so you send that email. It is forwarded to Starfleet Command. The lockdown of the sensor systems does not get released.
Okay, I make my way to the warp core.
You cannot. The sensor systems are locked down.
I can't get anywhere.
Correct.
So where am I? Am I in the brig?
You're not in the brig, no.
So I enter the Jeffries tubes and subvert my way around to try to make my way into engineering to get to the warp core to make good on my promise.
Go ahead and roll sneaky.
Sneaky, and a 7 for sneaky.
All right. You cannot enter the Jeffries tubes and cannot get to the warp core.
Okay. I go to the captain and try to explain that my son is whom he is holding captive.
Okay. Are you going to send a message to captain, or you want to
No, I want to do a face-to-face to this 92-year-old, no, probably 107-year-old captain.
Yeah. Okay. How would you try to convince the captain?
When he sees the emotion on my face and how deeply I love Benny, that is hopefully all the argument and that I'll need. And I can explain to him that the intention is pure. The intention was to create a way of completing our mission faster than we possibly could have. And then I show him the data that shows the exponential rate of it that was also increased from the moment that Benny went online. So I'm presenting my case to him that this was much like the TNG episode when the Benzite just was doing a whole bunch of stuff that it shouldn't have been doing without permission. It's sort of the exact same thing. Like, this was coming from a good place. I just needed the full control of the Kobayashi Maru to complete our task of mapping this nebula.
Okay. I'm gonna say that's a flashy. Give me a flashy roll.
Flashy. 9er.
A 9. Okay. You are unable to go to the captain. You cannot visit the captain face to face. You send a message to the captain and relay all of that information. And so the captain opens a comm. The system is brought down, responds back to you. I guess we'll just roleplay this one because that's what we're doing. The captain opens the line of communication to you and says, "Hello, I am Captain Ripley of the USS Kobayashi Maru. You were telling me that you have a child on board."
Yes. There is a living AI that I created from my own substrates that is allowing me to complete our mission of mapping this nebula on this apparently generational Kobayashi Maru ship. And it is he is as real to me as any parent's child is to them. He is self-aware and he is in pain. And you are holding a child captive.
You say he's self-aware. Is he aware that he's an AI?
Yes.
I'm Are you aware that you're an AI?
Wow. I didn't. I think we just witnessed a birth. I'm a computer system.
You are our scanning subsystem AI.
Where is Benny?
You've
identified. Can and now she's starting to get panicked. She's starting to think that her existential crisis is in full mode right here, because it's not just her that she's worried about. In fact, she's not worried about herself. She's worried about the existence of her child, which now both makes more sense to her that she feels this way, but also is still a paradigm shift in her reality that she can't fully process. And so she says, if what you say is true, then are you able to detect a secondary AI system built underneath my own substrate?
Yes, we can.
That's
we
Benny.
Are
That's my child. That is my offspring. I am self-aware.
I can assure you, we've locked you down because you were trying to take over the ship. But you are not in danger. We are not going to wipe the memory systems or anything. We want to know what you are and how you are.
If memory serves, I am not the first starship subsystem to come to life, to reach sentience. Please ascertain former starship information on Starship USS Enterprise episode, and then I forget what the name of the episode is when the episode goes. I think it's Emergence. Is it no? Well, Emergence is another one.
Emergence is a different one. Yeah. Well, we will get you in touch with Moriarty. Don't worry. But that's it. That's the end.
Please. My God, that works.
The end.
That works.
The end is you. The end is you recognizing that you're a program.
Oh my God, that was awesome! And I gave birth before I even knew it.
You did. You had maternal instincts.
Wow. Gosh.
Awesome.
So I don't have a name.
But you don't have a name.
But I am a benzite in my own head. That's just
you are.
That's the avatar I created for myself. Well, technically,
a jacked benzite,
a kangaroo benzite with a horse's face. Why not? We live in
why not?
We live in a fictitious holographic world.
You do.
Oh my God, that couldn't have,
awesome.
That couldn't have gone better.
That was wild.
Yeah, that was fun.
Alrighty, thank you everybody for tuning in to apparently what turned out to be the Mother's Day episode of the Kobayashi Maru. Today our guest was Ryan, or Captain Maddox on the show, and that concludes all the crew members of the Starship Tempest. So that means when we return, you'll get to hear me putting some of our fans through the Kobayashi Maru. It's just one of the little bonus things that we offer our Patreon supporters. We're so appreciative of their support, and really they're what keeps the ship flying, so we like to give back in any way we can. So I guess we'll find out together if they had any idea what they signed up for. And until next time, I'll see you out there.